So now that feminism has given women every single opportunity to succeed in life, it continues to push them further and further to the point of having absolutely no boundaries and to let go of any form of self-respect.
Hey, ask me how I did it, I'm telling them grace. Ask me how I'm living, I'm telling them great. Ask me how I did it, I'm telling them.
It is just when you feel really sexy, it is empowering. And it makes you feel really good in your skin.
You know, women, we can be able to represent our bodies in whichever way we want. If somebody else deems it to be inappropriate, you know, that's on them.
I mean, this is openly advertising. And I just don't like the way this is becoming normalized now.
I agree with you. The rules are changing dramatically all the time. We live in a world where things sort of spiral. They go out of control. What happens is if we keep, you know, disbanding all these rules, we'll go down to rock bottom.
So what you'll often hear is that men do not respect women enough. To which I say, do women even respect themselves?
I was 19 and I got kicked out of my house because I was like bringing over 6 dudes a night. Like
6 dudes a night? Like at the same time or like
no.
After the other?
Yeah, one after the other, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a fans account. There is nothing wrong with being any way you want to be, whether it is as an occupation or if it is to just send an around like I do all the time.
No, it's not even that no one has seen them. It's that you guys haven't asked me to see them.
Wait, well, that's true.
That would be harassment, dear.
But here's the thing, is like, I want to show you my, is that okay?
Oh, no, that's why you're here.
Go ahead.
I'm like worried.
Oh my God. Oh, you're really dumping them.
Yeah, I'm going to dump them.
Yeah, all very respectable ladies. Which is why, at this point, pretty much everywhere you look online, you'll see women using their bodies to get attention or money from men. We seem to be living in the best era ever for women to actually make use of their brains and skills.
We are going to be coding today,
and we're gonna use front-end user management infrastructure.
Chose to go into management consulting after graduating from college.
But somehow, selling your body is much more appealing to modern women.
When I made like $1.5 grand, and I was like, this is like double what I'm getting from benefits.
So she made this TikTok of her like filming a day in her life as a creator, and she started it off with like, so I'm a worker. It had so many views. I was like, oh my God, I want to do that.
Now I say selling, but in all honesty, most of them are just giving it away for free. Because what you see on Instagram and TikTok, or just on the streets late at night, that is all free. Nobody's charging you for that. Now in the past, a professional, aka a would put on a very scandalous outfit so that you could clearly tell that she's willing to do whatever you want just as long as you paid her. But then feminism came along and brainwashed an entire generation into thinking that dressing and acting like is perfectly fine and that men should still respect you when you do.
Look, this is a public service announcement. Just because I sleep around and just because I present myself a certain way online does not mean that I don't deserve respect.
Right. Please drop a like on the video if you think that feminism is fooling women into self-sabotage, and comment down below what you think. I mean, it truly amazes me how much soul-destructing advice modern women are giving each other, and it makes you wonder, do women even like other women?
Women will push you to like, go queen, go do that, but at the end of the day, you are losing more respect for yourself by listening to a woman telling you to go out and do that thing that they wouldn't even do themselves.
Because they really do their very best to set these women up for failure, while we men are actually still trying to protect these women from themselves. Men are the ones who are most vocal about not letting men in women's sports.
It's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous.
And we are the ones saying don't sleep with 50 or 100 dudes.
It's not impressive for a woman to sleep with a lot of men. It's very easy for women to sleep with men. Even average women, even below average women, have more sexual options than like a top tier man.
Or dress like a streetwalker. I mean, can you even tell the difference these days between professionals and the normal chicks that are out there? Anyways, we're only just getting started, and already you see that it's very difficult to take modern women seriously based on how they present themselves and how they are constantly using their bodies for attention. Now, I could go into the whole OF thing and how it's incredibly stupid and hypocritical for women to push other women into doing OF work while constantly complaining that society is objectifying women.
What if this was my daughter, or my mother, or my sister?
Why would I, when I have a very rare lady who actually understands this reality and explains it so perfectly.
You're a feminist doing that's empowering, yet you're relying on creepy, disgusting men who think you are disgusting and trash to ironically pay your bills, which is probably the most degrading thing in the entire world. Whereas actually, if you were in an office, it would be a lot less degrading. You could actually have respect in an office.
Ah, sweet music to my ears. This brings us to the irony of this whole modern feminism scam and the female sexual revolution, which is that we literally have women encouraging other women to sell themselves online for the explicit pleasure of men, who are also supposed to be their oppressors, and they should fight them to end patriarchy.
The main reason why the patriarchy is so hard to eradicate is that its power is decentralized. They are ridding the patriarchy of its most effective tool, and that renders the patriarchy powerless in its ability to control women. It's giving Bella Thorne releasing her own nudes.
Right. Are you still with me here? Because apparently patriarchy is located in the balls, and apparently you need to drain those in order to kill it or something. I don't know. These feminists are the most incoherent bunch of whiners, only surpassed by the trans people.
I feel like both, like a man and a woman, but I also feel like neither and genderless.
But I digress, since things get a lot more stupid when feminists get their feelings hurt and when they try to get back at men for not calling them or committing to them.
I have a lot of single girlfriends, okay? And holy hell, like, they are so amazing, and like they're these empowered, beautiful women that are just like, they have so much to offer. Like, independent, badass woman, like, why aren't you wifing them up?
Now this really proves that most women do not understand men, and they have no idea what men truly value. As men, we value scarcity and uniqueness, you know, things that are hard to get. So a girl sleeping with 50 dudes is not hard to get, which means that she has no value at all. Neither is a girl showing it all on Instagram or OF, or a girl who's talking to 10 guys at the same time. Now here's where the beauty of feminist logic comes in and falls flat on its ass. You see, many women will argue with you and say that's not true, since quote-unquote real men don't care if a girl sleeps around or is half naked on Instagram, and they will base this on the fact that those women still get plenty of dates or even get married. And yes, this does happen, but what do all of these women have in common?
I'm so f***ing tired of being disappointed by men. I'm so f***ing tired of getting hurt.
Okay, I'm about to tell you one sign that a man has low emotional intelligence.
They all complain later on that the guy has no emotional intelligence, that he doesn't care about their feelings, about their needs or their problems. He's simply not there for them.
And 5, 10, 15 years later, they're also the ones being like, all men are garbage, you know, I'm just gonna be alone. I'm like, okay, so maybe that untraditional lifestyle promoting these things did not work out for you.
These hot girls will always find someone to date, marry, or have babies with, but that person might only care about her looks and not her feelings or her wants or needs.
So my boyfriend of 8 months, almost a year, and we've known each other for a year now, straight up ghosted me. I had to literally DM his brother to see if he was alive. His snap score is going up. Obviously I'm checking, like, and I know he's like playing poker with his friends, and he like went to a basketball game today. So yeah, I'm honestly at a loss because I literally never would have seen this coming from him.
Yeah, of course he doesn't care. You know why? Because he sees no value in her. Any person out there, whether it's a guy or a woman, will protect the thing they care for if that thing has true value to them. So even though hot women will always find a guy to date, marry, and make babies with, the question really becomes, is that guy willing to die for you? Probably not. Because in today's society, how many women have you met that you were actually willing to die for? Women have been tricked by feminism into eliminating all of the things that actually make them valuable in the eyes of men.
Because women, it's like, then they ask you, okay, what do you bring to the table of value? And they list masculine things that men don't care about. No, you need to be like loving, supportive, kind, feminine. Feminine's like the #1 thing.
Yeah, that is definitely.
You're supposed to be a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
Or else you would go have a business partner.
Women love to quickly shift the narrative to why do men get to sleep around and we don't? Why do only we get shamed for it? Well, to that I say, ladies, you can do whatever the hell you want. Just like a guy can eat Cheetos and play video games all day long and build a solid 800 pounds of lard, you know, living his best life, as you guys say. However, no man is ever going to defend him and say that women should sleep with him, date him, or marry him. We all agree that this dude has no value to women. But women don't like this type of honesty and logic. They want to do all of the things that make them super unattractive to men, to then complain that those same men don't want to date them or take them seriously. They don't seem to get that the girl who sleeps around with a bunch of dudes or showing her ass on Instagram is the female equivalent of the 800-pound unmotivated bum living with his parents. Because for a man, a girl could be broke, living with her parents, and not have a clue about what she wants to do with her life, but if she's virtuous, kind, and she has an ounce of self-respect, then that girl will be worth her weight in gold. But this virtuous, self-respecting mindset does not align with modern feminism, that wants women to be as naked and vulgar as possible and to let go of any feminine traits that make women truly amazing. Modern feminism loves to turn women into cheap commodities and make them believe that it's female empowerment. These women get lured into OF work with the promise of making 10K or even 50K a month. But what they all find out the hard way is that you only make the big bucks when you start giving into all of these specialized requests that will truly break your soul.
I actually dreaded just about every time I opened up my OnlyFans. I just would see all these messages like, are you DTF, sending like pics. I've never been the type to entertain it, and so the thing is with OnlyFans is that you kind of have to entertain it because they're paying.
So clearly, just dressing like streetwalkers or doing OF work is already more than enough to greatly devalue women in the eyes of most men, and it makes it almost impossible to take any of these women who engage in these activities seriously. However, the craziness doesn't stop here, since modern feminism also heavily stimulates women to never ever change anything about themselves for a man, which again is very ironic since feminism loves to tell women to do whatever disgusting act a guy requests just as long as he pays you on OF, but if he asks you to be a bit more feminine or simply kinder, then you need to run because he's clearly a creep and you are perfect the way you are. It truly amazes me how women can complain non-stop about not getting commitment from men when they try so hard to be unappealing to those men. If you want a guy to take you seriously, then maybe begin with taking yourself seriously first and conduct yourself in a respectable manner. But when you behave like a child or dress like a hoe, then that's simply the treatment you're gonna get. However, modern women don't like to hear that.
I can understand how a man would look at me.
And why do you think that you accept that where other girls will call the man misogynistic?
Feelings, they're not using their logic. They're like, how dare you speak about me like that? And it's like, you're taking it so personal. I was like, you obviously must feel a specific way about yourself if that's how you're speaking about a man being misogynistic, because he won't take you up for that.
And so when they keep getting confronted with the consequences of their lifestyles and men avoiding them like the plague, they keep reverting to men are just intimidated by how amazing we are.
Like, what is your deal? Why do you feel like you're insecure?
Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Now the reason why it's so stupid for women to tell each other to never change for a man is because if you want to be with someone who's very religious, you will have to be religious yourself, or that person is not going to want to be with you. If you want to be with someone who's very active and takes good care of their body, then they're probably going to want someone who's active as well. But somehow, modern feminism has convinced women that they can be as promiscuous as they want, lose all of their feminine traits, be a non-stop headache, and show up with more crazy demands than the Taliban, after which every man should be lucky to have them. Sorry ladies, that's not reality. This was how feminism devalues women. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.